Welcome to this video lecture on partial wave analysis in quantum scattering. In quantum scattering, the incident plane wave interacts with the scattering center, which generates the scattered wave. The scattered wave is, in general, not spherically symmetric. That is, its amplitude depends on the direction theta phi. The incident wave has wave function equal to capital A constant exponential I k naught dot r, and the scattered wave has wave function given by a f function of theta and phi exponential I k dot r divided by r, where k is wave vector of the scattered wave, theta is the angle between the incident wave vector k naught and the vector k, a is normalization constant. In this diagram, we see the incident plane wave generating the spherical wave. Using separation of variables, we may write wave function psi as the product of radial function r and spherical harmonic y. Radial function capital R function of a small r may be put equal to small r multiplied by u, which is function of r, and we get radial Schrodinger equation with the centrifugal contribution. The scattering center has three zones. First zone, which is called a scattering zone, has non-zero scattering potential. The second zone, which is known as intermediate zone, has a scattering potential V equal to 0. And the third zone, known as radiation zone, has both the scattering potential and the centrifugal term equal to 0. Zone 3 gives the solution of the Schrodinger equation as r equal to c exponential ikr upon r, which represents the outgoing spherical wave. In zone 2, we can neglect the potential term and get the solution of Schrodinger equation as spherical Bessel functions given by u function of r equal to a r j l function of kr plus b r eta l function of kr. We have a spherical Hankel function of first kind hl x1 and of second kind hl function of x2 as the sum and difference of jl and eta l respectively. Hankel function of first kind represents outgoing wave and that of second kind represents the incoming wave. Therefore, wave function for the outgoing wave is given by u function of r equal to capital A r h l n 1. Thus, outside the scattering region, the exact wave function is given by the sum of incident plane wave and scattered wave. For isotropic scattering, m is equal to 0 and the spherical harmonic is given by yl0 function of theta and phi equal to under root 2l plus 1 upon pi pl cos theta, where pl is Lth Legendre polynomial. Coefficient CL0 is equal to I raised to power L plus 1 multiplied by k under root 4 pi 2L plus 1 into AL. Putting the values of CL0 and YL0, we get the wave function psi as a function of r and theta equal to A exponential ikz plus k summation over L from 0 to infinity I to the power L plus 1 2L plus 1 AL HL1 function of kr PL function of cos theta. For large r, the Hankel function behaves as minus I to the power L plus 1 exponential ikr upon kr. This gives a scattering amplitude f theta equal to summation over L from 0 to infinity 2L plus 1 AL PL plus PL function of cos theta. AL is called partial wave amplitude since waves with different values of orbital angular momentum L are referred to as partial waves. This is why this method is called partial wave analysis. Now the differential cross section is given by square of modulus f function of theta, and the total cross section sigma is obtained by integrating this differential cross section over d omega, and we finally get for total cross section sigma equal to 4 pi summation over 2l plus 1 mod al square summation taken over values l equal to 0 to infinity. We can rewrite the incoming wave in spherical coordinates by using expansion for the exponential ikz I to the e to the power ikz equal to summation over l from 0 to infinity I to the power l 2l plus 1 jl kr pl cos theta. Then the exterior solution may be written in spherical coordinates as psi function of r theta is equal to a summation over l from 0 to infinity I to the power l 2l plus 1 inside bracket jl kr plus I k al h l 1 function of kr whole multiplied by pl function of cos theta. By conservation of probability, amplitude of incoming wave has to be equal to amplitude of the outgoing wave. This introduces phase shift delta L in the partial wave amplitudes as AL equal to 1 upon 2 ik inside bracket exponential 2i delta L minus 1, which is equal to 1 upon k exponential I delta L multiplied by sine delta L. Now the scattering amplitude is given by f function of theta equal to 1 upon k summation taken over L from 0 to infinity 2l plus 1 exponential I delta L sine delta L pl cos theta. The differential cross section D is equal to mod f theta square, which exhibits is theta dependence, and total cross section sigma is equal to 4 pi upon k square summation over L from 0 to infinity 2l plus 1 sine square delta L. For theta equal to 0, f k theta equal to 0 equal to 1 upon k summation over L from 0 to infinity 2l plus 1 I e to the power I delta L sine delta L. Imaginary part of the scattering amplitude f function of theta is given by Im f inside bracket theta equal to 0 equal to 1 upon k multiplied by k square upon 4 pi into sigma. This gives sigma equal to 4 pi upon k imaginary part of f function of theta. This is optical theorem. This slide shows a number of remarks. First, for v tending to 0, phase shift delta L function of k tends to 0. In this case, we are left only with the free incoming plane wave. In the limit of very large k, in particular for h cross square k square upon 2 much greater than mod v max, potential again becomes insignificant compared with the energy of the incoming wave. For attractive v, delta is greater than 0. In this case, wavelength becomes shorter in the small r region where potential is effective, and the lth partial wave is pulled into a smaller values of r as a result. Similarly, for repulsive v, delta L is less than 0. Total scattering cross section is related to imaginary part of the scattering amplitude, giving sigma k equal to 4 pi upon k imaginary part of f theta equal to 0, this which is the optical theorem, and this leads to the weak inequality for the elastic scattering cross section, sigma elastic less than equal to 4 pi upon k under root d sigma upon d omega for theta equal to 0. There exists a relation between maximum L for which delta L is appreciably different from 0 and magnitude of k of incoming wave. Thus, although our expression for both d sigma upon d omega and sigma in general involve an infinite series in L only, a finite number of terms may be effective. Classically, if a projectile particle comes in with an impact parameter b greater than r0, it will miss filling the potential and will not be scattered at all. The diagram shows effective potential V effective, centrifugal potential, and the wave functions omega L function of Kr lagging behind UL function of Kr in phase by delta L. Omega L has been shown by dotted line curve and UL by the solid line curve. Omega L and UL have equal amplitudes. In this discussion, these two references have been used. Thank you.